So in 2002, January, I decided to refinance our house in Forney and here in Plano. And I went to sign the papers. And actually, it was when I went to apply for the mortgage and I went back to work and got laid off, which was kind of interesting. So, but that was the last time I had a job with benefits. After that, in 2002, I did two contract jobs for Flextronics. And so effectively got laid off three times in 2002. And that's when we decided that I think God's sending me a message. It's time to do something different. I said, I was always interested in real estate. So I thought about many things, including insurance and sales, just general sales. I actually applied for a sales job with the people that built our pool because I felt like, as an engineer, I never felt like I was a salesman, but I did know that if I really loved something and believed in it, I could probably sell it. So I didn't get that, obviously, but I talked to several people and just decided that real estate might be a good job in my late 50s now. And, this could be a good retirement job. I don't have to worry about getting laid off again when I'm 65 or 66 because I'm retirement age. So we did it. I've been with independent companies, except for about a year and a half with Remax. I learned a lot from Remax, and it's one of the things that gave me confidence in myself because it made me realize that there is no difference. It is not the company, it's the realtor all the time. It's not the company, it's the realtor. And one of the things that was weird and really taught me that was trying to save a listing because I had a listing. It was a lease listing in Allen when I joined Remax. And the owner fired me because I joined Remax because he'd had a bad experience with Remax. And I tried telling him, it's still me, right? And he said, no, Remax is not going to make a penny off of me. So I go, what are you going to do? Okay, but I can do everything they can do. And an advantage is I don't have to pay for all of the advertising they do for me. And they do a lot. They bring a lot of buyers to listings, not just their own, but everyone's, because they're just the television exposure and everything. The big boys are marketing for us smaller people, which gives us the opportunity. And what I do is I use that to the advantage of being able to spend more time with each client. I'm not rushed. I'm not rushing. I'm not handing people off to other people to get the project done. And I don't know, I'm not necessarily a control freak, but I do like to be in control of the situation. I don't, and this is one of the things when I was working for the sign company, I did decide to go back to school and got a degree in management. And during my last semester of that schooling, I was laid off and I got a new job. And so my last class was a speech class. And my final speech was, now that I have my management degree, I got the job I always wanted as an engineer. So, because I don't like being responsible for others. Over the years, I've had a few realtors working for me, found it very stressful. Found many of them just weren't listening, they don't know what they're doing, or they're not paying attention. And I was just always afraid I was going to get sued. So I don't have any realtors. I had one call me the other day and I referred them to one of my friends because I don't want that responsibility anymore. I'm happy where I am. And it's kind of, so I do sales, do listings, help buyers. And I have helped clients in over 60 of the North Texas cities and towns, stretching from north of Fort Worth to Cleburne, Terrell, Waco, up to the Oklahoma border. And so it's just a matter of paying attention, listening to what people want. And when I get a buyer, one of the things that I do is one of my clients asked me one time, he said, how many houses do you typically show a buyer? And I said, well, I said, my goal is to within 10 have found something to make an offer on. Because the first few you go to, you're learning. So, and if I pay attention to the buyer, I'm weeding out what they don't want by the time we're looking at the fifth or sixth house. So we get it done quickly, but I will say the fewest has been 0. Yeah, big fat 0 that I showed before we were under contract, and actually never got to show those people a house at all. And the most was around 80. Very picky people came down from Iowa, and this was during the time when um, houses were plentiful, and so it was a buyer's market. And in the media was marketing that you can buy you can get houses at great deals, and so they made several offers and lost them all because they were basically bottom lining it, trying to get the biggest deal. So sat down one day and I said, well, Mr. Client, do you want a perceived deal or a good value? And I said, and Deion Sanders' answer of both is not acceptable. So he said, well, what's the difference? And I said, well, it's very simple. A good value is a house that meets your needs and wants and is within your budget. And he said, that makes sense. And I said, and a perceived deal is an overpriced house that you get a discount on. So we ended up, the next house we went to, they put the offer in and bought. So it's just kind of, I try to pay attention. Many of you do, and many of you don't know. I'm also a former president of the National Alliance on Mental Illness in Collin County. And during that time, got certified as a support group leader and as a teacher of their family to family class. And I bring that education, that training to real estate, which helps me listen, as I think Steve and now Cooney may attest to, that coaching is about listening. And support group is about listening. You ask a question, you listen, and you listen. And then you ask another question and you listen. And that's how I treat clients. Get to know what they want. What is their most important part of the sale? If they're listing, are they more interested in getting it out of their hands and done, or are they more interested in getting the most money? And it takes a different approach. And that's where my engineering background comes in. I was kind of like a project manager. So you have to think about, okay, what's going to get me the end result we need? Do this first or do this first? How do we do this? So the other thing that I am, and I did this when I went off on my own the second time after the RE/MAX, after my time with RE/MAX, is I got certified as a professional coach. So that helps. That helps also. It separates me. And I don't pursue that. I had offered it to my realtors for free and found out you cannot offer coaching for free. If there's no skin in the game, they're not interested in it. So I'm happy with my career. Also, many of you know that I am a property manager. I manage 33 properties for others, and which is a nice steady income. And I like that. Sometimes that is extremely stressful. Sometimes it is extremely busy. Get overloaded, can get overwhelmed for several days or a couple of weeks. but then the end result is the same. And so I relate the closing to the debugging of a finished research and development project, because at the end of both, when you flip the switch on that project and it comes on, and when you're at the closing table, you get the same feeling, which is yes. I'm George Elwell with Realty. So who do you know that I could benefit?